Back in February 2021, Elon Musk made headlines when he announced on Twitter that his electrical car company Tesla would buy Bitcoin as an alternative to cash. At the time, many viewed the purchase as one of the most significant events in Bitcoin's short history. The $1.5 billion purchase of Bitcoin caused a frenzy of buyers to pile in and drive the price of Bitcoin up nearly 20% in less than 24 hours. Tesla and Musk are now back in the spotlight for the same Bitcoin bought over a year ago. In a quarterly earnings call, Musk disclosed that Tesla sold 75% of its Bitcoin holdings. He cited that the company faced a need for liquidity amid uncertainty in its Chinese operations due to the extended COVID-19 lockdowns. With supply chain disruptions and labor shortages, the company needed cash on hand to ensure the disruption in production didn't have as large of an impact. The announcement caused Bitcoin to dip slightly, but it regained those losses quickly after Musk further clarified his comments. He mentioned that the sale should not be taken as some verdict on Bitcoin and that the company would look to increase Bitcoin holdings in the future. As one of its most prolific entrepreneurs and richest men in the world, any purchase or sale of Bitcoin draws considerable attention from the public. Even more attention is brought about when a sale occurs. However, it seems as though the decision to sell the Bitcoin was potentially the right move for the company. The company actually sold roughly 31,500 Bitcoin at a price of roughly $30,000 sometime back in May. The sale allowed Tesla to secure cash it badly needed and avoided the worst of the losses when Bitcoin fell below 19,000 this July. Had Tesla not sold when it did, the company would have lost about $11,000 per Bitcoin, or roughly $346 million. Likely due to some good timing and a little bit of luck, the company only reported a loss of $106 million by selling at $30,000 instead of around $19,000. Tesla is the second largest electric car company in the world, only recently losing the title as number one this July. The lockdowns caused some of its largest factories in cities like Shanghai to shut down for over a month this spring. This type of hit to production forced Tesla to find new means of cash. Without selling the Bitcoin, the most recent earnings report would have likely been one of the worst it had in quite some time. During normal production, Tesla usually sells roughly 60,000 vehicles in China per month. Despite selling a record number of cars in June, roughly 70,000 fewer cars were sold in the second quarter compared to the first quarter. By selling its Bitcoin, Tesla was able to bolster its cash reserves and lessen the blow from lockdown-affected factories in China. Ultimately, it might have been the right move to ensure that any further impacts from the lockdowns were minimal and wouldn't damage Tesla's bottom line in Q2. It seems as though the decision was an attempt to minimize the damage that would have inevitably shown up on Tesla's earnings report. While production numbers took a hit, Tesla was able to offset this with an increased amount of cash on its balance sheet. While it's not always ideal to sell an asset for short-term reasons, it seems to have worked in this case, especially considering that after the earnings announcements, Tesla's stock was up about 10%. Presumably, most of Tesla's remaining digital assets are Bitcoin, but Musk said on an earnings call that Tesla hadn't sold its Dogecoin. Musk has said he personally owned Dogecoin, but Tesla until now has not declared it does. We converted a majority of our Bitcoin holdings to fiat for a realized gain, offset by impairment charges, or the remainder of our holdings netting a $106 million cost to the P&L. Included within the restructuring. A Tesla representative said on an investor call, Musk hopped in to explain Tesla's decision to convert its Bitcoin holdings was not a verdict on Bitcoin, but was made to improve its cash position due to the uncertainty over COVID-19 restrictions in China, which impacted its Shanghai Gigafactory. We are certainly open to increasing our coin holdings in the future, so this should not be taken as some verdict on Bitcoin. It's just that we were concerned about overall liquidity given the COVID shutdowns in China, and we have not sold any of our Dogecoin, said Musk. However, just last year, Tesla stopped accepting Bitcoin as payments for its cars due to concerns over the impact Bitcoin has on the environment. At the time of the announcement, Musk tweeted he would not be selling the Bitcoin Tesla owned. Does the recent news indicate the billionaire tech entrepreneur has changed his mind on crypto? Possibly. The thing about Elon is that nobody really knows what he's thinking. Our impression is that there are a lot of good reasons for selling Bitcoin that make financial sense. The official excuse that Tesla needs liquidity could be true too. There has been a market downturn, issues with production, and inflation. If you look at the fundamentals of Bitcoin right now, they're worse than a few months ago, but they certainly have remained at high enough levels that people are not abandoning the currency altogether.